Welcome to Talkin' Movies with Tony Douglas, the channel that gives you the lowdown on the good, the bad and the forgotten of movies. The endings of films are always talking points. We either love them, hate them or have mixed feelings about them. Today we discuss the ending of The Colour of Money, the 1986 pool hall drama directed by Martin Scorsese and starring Paul Newman and Tom Cruise. For those of you who aren't aware, The Colour of Money is a sequel to the 1961 pool room classic, The Hustler, where Newman brought to life one of his flashiest and best remembered roles, that of Fast Eddie Felson, a young cocky pool hustler with a short fuse, tremendous skill and a self-destructive attitude. The Colour of Money follows the exploits of a much older Fast Eddie, some 25 years later. Eddie is now a businessman who has left his pool-playing days behind him. However, one night at a bar, he has a chance encounter with a cocky young pool hustler called Vincent, played by Tom Cruise. Vince is that full of himself that he wears a t-shirt with his name emblazoned on it. Eddie sees a little bit of himself in Vincent. It makes him feel young again, and it revigorates a need in him to return to doing what he once did best. It is not long before Fast Eddie takes Vincent under his wing, and the two of them go on a cross-country road trip that sees them hustling in pool halls and bars. To add some spice to the trip, Vincent's girlfriend Carmen, played by Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, comes along for the ride. This creates not only conflict, but a subsequent divide between the two men. So here we go with the ending of the film. Picture this. You set up a pool game between Hollywood legend Paul Newman, the master, and Tom Cruise, the young apprentice. Newman places the white ball on the table and says in a very confident and powerful way, "Hey, I'm back," and then breaks. Suddenly the film freezes on Paul's face, the picture fades, the end credits roll, and the audience is left hanging. Bummer, dude. Talk about a cop-out ending, right? Cinema audiences must have been stunned, and I'm sure many of them were thinking, this is rubbish, where's the final reel? And if they weren't, I know I was. Since then I've realised that this was a mindset brought upon by my enjoyment of the film. I was so caught up in the momentum of the story that I simply didn't want it to end. The Colour of Money builds you up for 115 minutes or so and then drops the ball, so to speak, with a conclusion that gives you no resolution to the game. I suppose some could argue this ending was only a win or lose verdict. Did we really need to be spoon-fed the outcome? Wasn't the purpose of the film about the journey of the man and not the result of this final game? One way of looking at it is that in essence, if Fast Eddie said, "I'm back," knowing his character and his capabilities, I'm sure that hearing him say those words was as good as seeing the victory. Ultimately, audiences are left wanting more. So in a sense, this ending is a masterstroke by the scriptwriters. For some, this is the perfect ending, but for others, it is not. Audiences are presented with a cliffhanger and are left wanting more. This is a sign of a quality film. Director Scorsese leaves the viewer to decide the outcome, and so the debate begins and then continues. Abrupt ending aside, The Colour of Money is still an engrossing movie with superb performances, not to mention excellent pool choreography. The Colour of Money is not only a great sequel, but a fine standalone film in its own right. It's unique in that it can be enjoyed and understood without seeing the original film. In fact, I am sure that many people would have watched the two films out of sequence. Contemporary audiences only view The Hustler later, as a result of seeing and enjoying The Colour of Money first. For some, the ending of The Colour of Money hinted at a sequel, but unfortunately that sequel to a sequel never happened. Back in 1986, Tom Cruise was a star on the rise, and he didn't need to play support anymore. He was now a superstar in his own right. On the other hand, Paul Newman won his first Oscar for his role in The Colour of Money, and this put a finality cap on his Fast Eddie character. So in the end, the notion of a sequel was left alone. And as we all know, Paul Newman has since passed away, so a third Hustler film featuring both Paul and Tom will never be made. Sadly, the days of Fast Eddie and Vince are over, but maybe Cruise's Vincent character could still be explored. Cruise is still working steadily in movies today, and now nearly 30 years later, his Vincent character is almost Fast Eddie's age from The Colour of Money. This sounds like a perfect opportunity for Hollywood to play catch-up. Although Martin Scorsese is 72 years old and now in the twilight of his career, there still may be time for Cruise and Scorsese to get together again for a sequel that supplies us the details and gives us a hint at the outcome of that 30-year-old game and its aftermath. So in some ways, our chances of a resolution may not be completely dashed. However, the odds of another sequel are still a long shot. As much as I love The Colour of Money, I'm still conflicted about the teaser ending. A little more knowledge about that 30-year-old game would be welcomed. Nevertheless, whatever the result of that infamous game, The Colour of Money still makes me want to revisit it again and again. So what do you think about the ending of The Colour of Money? Do you love it or do you hate it? Would you like to know the outcome of that game? Or do you think the film is more powerful and complete left the way it is? Have your say in the comments below and let's get the discussion flowing. Well, until next time, this is Tony Douglas, talking movies. Thanks for watching and I'll catch you later.